Well, it's bottling day, bottling night, really, I suppose, for my Viking brew, my Finnish Sima. And let me tell you, I've got all sorts of crazy stuff going on here. First things first, as I was walking out to the garage just a moment ago, I witnessed one of the most rarest sights in all of the animal kingdom. Check it out. A bona fide, completely non-staged snail race. I'm sorry, I can't tell you who won. I didn't have the patience to stick around and find out. So, anyway, it's bottling night, and I have procrastinated about cleaning my bottles, which certainly need to be cleaned. They're not new bottles, they're old recycled beer bottles, so they need to be scrubbed and sanitized. But I don't have a bottle brush. I don't have anything that I can reach into the bottom of these beer bottles and scrub them out. And I'm not about to go to town at this hour of the night to go try to find one. So, as luck would have it, I was watching a video earlier today by a guy named Matthias von Dell. I think I'm pronouncing that properly. I put a link down in the description. The guy's got some cool stuff. Anyway, this crazy dude is building some sort of a ramrod for a cannon, and he's making his own bristle brushes, custom fit to where it needs to go. So I watched that and I went, I think I can do that. So without further ado, I guess I'm going to be making a bristle brush. Here's what I'm working with. I've got this little piece of wire that was liberated from one of my hanging plant holders. It really only needed 3 wires anyway. It's perfectly stable, right? So now I've got this piece of wire, and I've got my trusty little, I don't know, shop broom brush thing that's going to be a donor. Yes, I realize that this doesn't sound horribly sanitary at the moment, but I'll go ahead and get it all cleaned up and it will be a non-issue. First, sorry dude, you're getting a haircut. There we go. Hopefully that'll be enough bristles. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and tell you, this feels about as haphazard as it gets, but it just might work. Alright, let's mesh it in here. There we go. Now it gets the twist. I don't know if you can see or not, but I got vice grips hanging on to the end of it here. Oh. Look at that. I got a bottle brush. And an hour and a half later, for me, mere seconds for you, I now have clean beer bottles, sanitized, clean, ready to rock. Now for each 2 quarts of brew, I've added 1/8 of a cup of sugar. I suppose it's supposed to kickstart the fermentation process again, give me I believe a secondary fermentation is the term, and carbonate this stuff in the bottle. We'll see how it works. Now I've decided to go with corking instead of capping, just because, well, I had a bunch of corks and it seems like fun. So I'm going to cork it. Let's see if my cork press works here. Alright, so I feel like that's about as far as I'm going to get that cork in there. So, since it's that far in there, since this stuff should be carbureted, since this stuff should be carbonating, I'm going to take an extra precaution to ensure that my cork doesn't pop out. I'm going to tie a trucker's hitch, trucker's knot, whatever, over the top of it. And then I'm going to call it baling twine honey wine. Although it's not really baling twine. Close enough. There we go. It's not real pretty, but theoretically it'll keep that cork from going all the way out. Let me bottle up the rest of these. After about 48 hours in the bottle, I've seen some bubbles, and I think we've got some carbonation here. Let's see what it does. Well, that was lame. Some of them have popped out pretty well, indicating that there is some pretty good carbonation. Let's take a look here. There we go. It looks kind of gross, but I have drank some of it, and it turned out pretty well. It actually is pretty much exactly what I was hoping that it would turn out. I do have a couple of lessons learned. First being, if you must ferment this stuff in a carboy, if you're going to make this recipe, don't do it in a carboy. Do it in something with a great big opening, a bucket maybe, because fishing lemon peels out of a carboy, it's hours of my life that I'll never get back. The other thing is corks. If you're going to use corks rather than caps, I don't think that there's a problem with it per se, but before you try to press corks into bottles, get the cork wet. Yeah, get the cork wet before you push it into a bottle. This stuff ended up at about 4.5% alcohol, a little bit weaker than what I was shooting for, but still plenty drinkable. Good flavor. I would do it again. I will do it again, very likely. I think I'm into this whole process, this whole batch, by $8 or $9 for 3 gallons. So there you have it. That's all the particulars. If you have any questions about it or comments, please don't hesitate to leave them down in that comment section down there. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, click the thumbs up, and you'll get to watch more antics like this as they come along. Thanks for your time, guys. I appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time.